Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Grainstone Brownback Sessions, where we discuss questions you ask us about real estate investment. I am Rafi.
I am Jorge Vasquez.
There you go. Where can they find us, Jorge?
They could always find us at homesforincome.com. That is homes, the number 4, income.com.
There you go. Well, first and foremost, this is our second session doing this. I want to really thank everyone that joined last time. A lot of feedback. They actually like the sunglasses.
Yeah, most people think they're cool.
There you
and
go.
I totally agree.
Yeah, they look good. I think it's a way. By the way, I remember someone said, "Hey, in terms of, you look, credibility, whatever. It's a way of us having a little bit fun, being different, a little bit out there. So again, keep the feedback coming. We appreciate that. But I think the glasses stay.
They're staying.
I think they're staying. I think they're staying. The other thing is very, very important, that you go somewhere over, I think it's over there, over here. Yeah. And follow us. That way, when we are live, next time, you receive a notification and we don't have to be chasing you down and trying to find out exactly where you are, So make sure that, again, somewhere over there, if you're in an iPhone here, an Android here.
Isn't it at the top?
Oh, it's
right here? Android.
Right there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Android there, for iPhone there, something like that. But please make sure that you follow us. And even more important, if you have any questions, just go to the comments, write them down there, and we will try to answer your questions. Okay, so again, thank you very much for joining us, and we really appreciate the fact that you're spending your lunchtime with us. Today we're eating Mexican today, so
Yes.
I got some chicken flautas. They're
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Great from Taqueria Manuel. What do you get?
Chicken salad.
Salad.
Chicken salad. Yeah.
Boring.
Yep.
Salad.
It's the same thing I eat every day, man.
I'm sure Josie will be proud. Josie, he's eating well. Be proud. Be proud.
I'm trying.
Well, the question today is from Jason. And Jason asked us this question. Hey, how much, and I'm reading here, how much should I have before starting to invest seriously in real estate? So the question is, how much do we suggest you have in terms of funds to start investing the way that we do it? Because there's a lot of different ways, but the way that we do it, how much? So Jorge, how much do you think is that minimum?
Well, that's a good question. It depends on what type of asset you're buying, but if we're referring, Rafi, to the stuff we buy,
Yes.
The stuff we buy, typically you got to look at, acquiring a property anywhere from 50 to 60,000.
Wait. For those California, New York people out there listening to us, he just said that we can get a property here for 50,000, 60,000. Is that what you said?
That's right, Rafi.
Wow.
So if we're talking about those type of properties, we find 50, 60,000. My suggestion is for you to have at least 100,000.
Okay, but wait, you said that the property is 50, 60,000. Then why 100,000?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, you have the 50 and 60 for the acquisition.
Okay.
Another 25%, 20 to 25% for repairs.
Oh, okay. 25,000.
25% or 25,000.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm guesstimating, let's say 50,000 acquisition, 25 in repairs.
Okay. So 25%. So in the case of 50,000, you're talking about, having, 12,000, 13,000 minimum in addition to that. Got it.
Or 25% of the 100 that I was referring to.
Oh, okay.
25% of the 100.
Got it.
So you have 100, you buy a property for 50.
Mm-hmm.
25,000 for repairs, or 25% of the 100,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other 25 is just in case for something happens
Mm-hmm.
with the property or reserves.
Okay.
The reserves.
Okay. Now, I've heard out there that they say, hey, you can get into real estate investment with $10,000, with $5,000. Actually, I've even heard that no money at all. What are your thoughts about those? Because some of them work.
Mm-hmm.
But why here it won't work? What's your thought about that?
There's definitely ways of buying properties without putting your own money.
Okay.
but there's always a deposit needed. There's always going to be a deposit needed, whether that is 1,000, 5,000, depending on the asset again. But some people get that wrong. They think that I could buy, I hear everybody saying no money down. That means no money out of your pocket, but somebody has to put in that 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 to allocate that to secure that contract. Now, how do you get that done? How do you get somebody else's money? That's a little complicated.
Okay.
That's more of an advanced investor through like an assignment, some sort of a joint venture, or even doing some sort of trading with the seller. It's a little more advanced that we want to discuss here today, but it could be done.
Okay. So back to the original question, you suggest, $100,000, 50, for 50 to 60 for the property, and then between 10 and 20, for repairs. So we're talking about, maybe a total of between 70 and 80,000 of those 100,000. And then that reserve, when you mention reserve of, let's say in this example of 20,000, what are the items that normally can come up where you will need that reserve to use that reserve?
A lot of different things, depending on what the type of asset you're buying. Like, did you put a brand new roof from the day one?
Okay.
Or did your roofer say, you know what, you might have another year left on it, 2 years left on it, and you're thinking, okay, let me wait for the property to cash flow a little bit, and then replace it. So sometimes through the whole process, you're gonna take some risk, and obviously, if you're gonna take the risk, you're gonna have to be able to back it up with some sort of reserve. So many things that could happen, and you want to be able to be ready for anything that comes up. And don't stick. You don't have to. You're not married to those numbers specifically, but you do need some reserves.
Okay. I think the other thing that a lot of people forget, and Uncle Sam never forgets, is taxes. You have taxes due, and a lot of people again don't factor that into that initial equation. So those reserves, you may need to use for that. Insurance is definitely another one that again a lot of people don't factor in, and then suddenly they get the bill and go from there. I think the other thing is also you want to be able to the key for rentals, to be successful, it's to have happy tenants, because vacancy is one of the highest expenses that you can have in a rental. So why that reserve? If something happened, let's say that bathroom floods and you have to change carpets, you don't want to have to wait 6-7 days until you get the funds to be able to do it. You want to be able to respond to that pretty quick. You have a happy tenant, that stays longer, that takes care of your house better. And at the end, again, vacancy is potentially the biggest expense that you can have. So if you can have a tenant that you can use as reserves to take care of these issues, then again, happy tenant, happy manager, and you go from there.
You brought up a good point, Rafi. A lot of investors forget that typically the first year is your tryout. Your tryout. So you're trying out the tenant, but you're also trying out the house. You don't know this house. You don't know if this house could look really nice in the outside, and then certain things will come up, with it. So that first year to me is the tryout. Once you have identified, you go through the process for the first time with this property, with the first tenant on it, you're gonna find out a lot of things. Don't expect that cap rate that you have in your mind, you quote in your mind. Don't expect it to get it on year one. That's gonna be year two. Year one is your tryout to learn this process, learn the property, and learn the tenant.
And let me tell you, I'm going to give an example of a property that we had, because one thing is when a property is vacant, everything looks nice and sounds great, but once someone starts living it and using it, things start coming up. We had a property that we turned on the AC. I remember we turned on the AC and it worked. It cooled. We were there half hour, maybe an hour. It worked. When we did the rehab, everything looked great, and it was great. Tenant move in. Well, guess what? Now that AC in Florida summer, or actually Florida's winter, because man, it's 80 degrees for forever. So for those of you in New York, sorry. But once that AC was on for every single day for 8 hours, etc., guess what? A month later, AC goes down. Mm-hmm. So again, really what happens is that you have a house that is not being used on a consistent basis, and these things starts bubbling up. Now, again, like you said, the cap rate that first year is going to be lower. And our experience is the cap rate from year 1 to year 2 jumps between 3 to 4%. So if you have that house that the first year you have a 6% cap rate, don't panic. Don't panic, because what you're doing is you're investing, you're finding out these little things that are bubbling up, okay? And then once you fix them, guess what? You're going to start reaping the benefits of that. And again, that's going back to the original question. That's why you need that reserve, and that's why you have, we suggest at least $100,000 to go for it.
And Rafi, doesn't have to be cash. It could be with lending. So right. Somebody could come in with $20,000 cash in a pre-approval for $80,000. Doesn't need to be all cash. Lost the connection. Okay, we're back.
We're back. Yeah. We're back.
Rafi, tell them a little bit about what is the cap rate. What is it? You mentioned it a few times for those.
You know what? I'm going to give a little bit, but I think that's a perfect subject for next week's discussion. But cap rate, you know what? Let me put it equivalent to the interest rate that you get in banks, in savings accounts. So right now, banks are, when you go to a bank and you put a CD for $100,000, they will give you 0.00125. When we're talking about cap rates now, similar to that, we're talking about 10%. But I think that's a perfect item for a full session to understand what things we include in that cap rate. For example, taxes, vacancy, insurance, rent, and all that kind of stuff. So, but in a nutshell, for those of you that are starting in real estate, when you hear cap rate, think of like a savings account interest rate, and then we go from there.
That interest you're gonna make a year.
Yeah, much. Yeah. Well, and this is where sometimes you go, especially with flips, and you go, wait, I only made 10% on that flip. Remember, banks calculate interest rate on an annualized basis. So if you did 10% on that and it took 3 months and you do it 4 times, you actually did 40%.
Right.
40%. So it's all on how you calculate and how you refresh that money. I want to, before I forget, give a shout out to Jason Fix. His comment: a good property management company will keep the tenants happy. Absolutely. We strongly suggest that you hire a good management company. They range between 8 to 12%, but if it's a very good property management, you get that money back and more.
I totally agree with you, Rafi. You're as successful as your team is. So if you have a solid team, you're gonna be successful. If you have a weak team, the weakest link is gonna be what's gonna make you hurt. So your property manager, you have to, if you gotta interview 10 of them, make sure you get the right person. Because sometimes you think, okay, well, this guy's been doing it for a long time. He manages a lot of properties, but guess what? He doesn't manage your type of property.
Right.
And then you're wondering what's going on with my property. So it's very important to from the rehab and the managing, acquisition, rehab, and managing, is important that you have the right team together. You
know what we can do? And again, my mind going 100 miles an hour. We have the cap rate as a potential subject. I think we should invite maybe one of the property managers that we work with to one of the sessions and have kind of a property manager, session on the things that they look for and all that kind of stuff. So we have 2 subjects already. That's good. Excellent, guys. We promised you around 15 minutes, and we're around that mark. Again, don't forget to follow us, either here or there, somewhere there. Follow us. That way, when we go live and you get the notification. We are trying to stick to around lunchtime on Fridays. So sometimes be noon, 12:30. sometimes, conference calls go a little bit longer, or we're visiting properties and, it takes long, but we're trying to stick around lunchtime to be mindful of them.
I want to add something real quick, going back to answering the original question. If you feel like, man, I don't have 100,000, that's so much money. Call us anyways. We'll work a plan out, right, Rafi? We'll figure it out. We have hard money lenders. And as long as you have the desire, we're going to help you out.
Yes.
We'll find a way to make it happen.
And one thing that, you will find from us, we're transparent. We're honest. If you call us and you are honest with us and explain us your situation, we'll be able to tell you know what, right now, it may not work, but here are the options. Here's Sam, the private lender. He's this guy, and we can find ways.
And even use the 401k.
Yeah.
We could teach you how. It's very simple, guys. Using your retirement funds to buy real estate.
Yeah. So again, give us a call. Where can they find us?
They can find us at homesforincome.com. That is homes, the number 4, income.com.
Homes4income.com. Again, thank you very much. I saw OJ out there. Felipe also joined. So thank you for that. We will see you next Friday, the 20th. Oh, that's when we have a new president by the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Friday the 20th, around noontime. Make sure that, again, you follow us somewhere over there. That way you get notifications when we go live. And remember, you can find us at homesforincome.com. This is Rafi.
This is Jorge.
Thank you very much for your time. And those chicken flautas are calling me, so we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.